I think that our historical experience differs from most of the other European countries from the end of 14th to the end of 18th century. We are the country composed of two elements of the Kingdom of Poland and the Lithuanian Duchy. It used to be called, despite that was a monarchy, it calls itself republic, so it used to be called the Republic of Two Nations. That was interesting since, of course, there were much more ethnic groups and nationalities living in this country. Of course, very, very big Jewish population, but also Muslim Tatars, and so on and so on. That was a very interesting experience since these two nations, major nations, Polish and Lithuanian, nobility representing those nations, those people had very strong feeling of their national identity, but it didn't create any problem to live together in the same country and to feel that this is their common country. It worked for centuries. Then Poland collapsed not because of that, but because of some pathologies of our political system. And second remark, Aleksander Smolar mentioned the problem of minorities and the way they are treated nowadays. It is a kind of paradox. Europe is becoming has become more united, more democratic, respecting human rights, freedoms, and so on. And suddenly we see a growing problem of the way the ethnic minorities are treated. And this is not just a controversial decision by French president, but we can find very difficult situations in other countries. Last year I visited many countries of Central Europe and the southern parts of Central Europe, and despite the fact that I know them quite well, I was surprised that by my very strong impression that in recent years, already after joining the European Union by most of those countries, the problem of the way they are treating minorities has become more complex and more difficult than before. That seems to show that for a variety of reasons, including growing phenomenon of populism in European politics, this element of national differences is being misused for political purposes, but maybe there is something more in minds of the people. We also should not neglect that issue. Thank you.
It's okay. I think this is all very interesting, especially that we are now starting to talk about the issue of identities. The former president of the Commission, Mr. Prodi, started a reflection group that was reviewed and monitored by the group on the sciences on humans and the centers around a number of capitals, Rome, Warsaw, Paris, Berlin, and other places, in order to find out what it is that makes Europeans stick together. And I think that it is very important to take a rather pragmatic look at this question of cohesion. I would like to make a difference between identity and belonging. I have a community that gives an identity within which I live, but this community decided to go together with other communities in order to strive for a very ambitious goal, and that is peace and freedom. And this high-standing objective also needs to be taken into account when deliberating the question of what is being regulated at which level. The phrase that there should not be a renationalization is something that I would be rather cautious with. as the current distribution of responsibilities is also nothing but an experiment. And we could come to the conclusion that the social issues are better to be dealt with at a municipal level of a country than on the European level. That's just possible. And I think that it is definitely the case, But if that is the case, then in Brussels we have to be very careful when talking about a European social order, because the people in the different countries have an entirely different understanding of the term social, when the basic conditions for life and dignity have been taken care of. Family has a different function in different countries. The municipality or the community has a different function. There is a large diversity, and that is a riches of Europe, and this kind of wealth should not be damaged. There is, to me, no alternative to a unified Europe, but there are many alternatives to answering the question of what needs to be done at which level. And if it is indeed the case that when thinking about a European future, we see an ongoing concentration of all relevant issues on the European level, then Europe is going to fail. It just can't work out. And it would be against human nature to just lay everything you have in the hands of an institution that you have no emotional bond with. If I am an older person, I need to have confidence and trust, and I need to give people a reason for that trust and confidence. And I'm doing this in people's environments, perhaps in a city or in a federal state, Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg, Saxony. And I may still do that, but I'm rather reluctant about that already on the level of the, of the federal state, that is the nation here in this case. But I don't do it in Brussels. With an aging population, the question arises where confidence is rooted. A confidence that is reliable and sustainable. And that is, I think, an eminent question of cohesion.
Mr. President. Ma il principio di sussidiarietà. Si fa a Bruxelles quello che non si riesce a fare bene a Berlino e si fa a Berlino quello che non si riesce a fare bene in Olanda. Questo è l'unico metodo per avere coesione. Bruxelles deve fare quello che non facciamo bene a Berlino o a Roma e a Berlino si deve fare quello che non si riesce a fare bene a livello di Länder. È la sussidiarietà verticale e orizzontale. Ma questo nei trattati c'è già scritto, non scopriamo nulla di nuovo.
The other way around. Man soll oben nicht tun, was die unten besser können. Das ist die gegenläufige Regel. Also was die Stadt besser kann, soll das Land nicht tun. Was das Land besser kann, soll der Bund nicht tun. Und was der Bund besser kann, soll Europa nicht tun. Das steht im Übrigen auch in der Verfassung, wird nur nicht beachtet.
Era un problema di traduzione, non di concetto.
We've got a message that we should finish, double message. First, this is our watch, and the second translation, which is not present anymore. So I think that this is very, French would say, shoot the final words. Extremely interesting for the beginning, for the many new debates. And I would love to thank you very much to panelists, to participants, and to all of persons who came here. And we will try to continue this debate in other towns and in the Congress we are preparing in Poland during Polish presidency. Thank you very much.